Welcome to Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. This is the audio version of my popular monthly free video series on mental skills in motorsport. I'm your host Greg, and I'm here to share with you practical insights and strategies to help you enhance your mental racing performance both on and off the track. So get ready as we dive deep and explore the mindset behind successful racing, and as we look at practical ways that you can sharpen your racing mental skills performance and gain a competitive edge when you go racing. Let's get started. Hi everybody, this week I'm going to talk about the locus of control and why it's important. So when we say locus of control, it sounds a little bit grand, but it's not really. It basically means kind of the location of your focus, or where you perceive it to be. So where are you locating your control? Okay, so the locus of control. Where do you perceive your control to be? So you could have an internal locus of control. You can have an external locus of control. So do I perceive that what I control comes from me? Or do I perceive that the control of what's happening to me or what I'm experiencing is out there? And it's a really important thing because it ties into how we respond to things. It ties into whether we feel as if we're at cause or effect. Remember, when we're at cause, it's us that are in charge. I'm taking action and things are happening. When I'm at effect or living at effect, it feels like things are happening to me and I'm just responding to them all the time. So locus of control, understanding where your locus of control lies, is important. And it is context dependent as well. So obviously in certain contexts you might find that you have an internal locus of control. So I perceive that I'm in charge of what's happening to me and how I respond. And in other situations I might not experience that. I might be perceiving that things are happening to me. It's an external locus of control and I feel very much at effect. So big words, grand titles, concepts, but how does it affect us? Well, if we think about a race, okay, if we think about our performance, we think about when we go out on track to perform. As you know, I go on a lot about, it's not necessarily about the outcomes, it's about our performance and our progress. And that's because performance and progress is very much an internal locus of control. It's something that I am in charge of. And when I'm in charge of something, it puts me at cause. And when I'm at cause, when I feel as if I'm in charge of things, I've got a firm grip on things, then my unconscious is much happier because it feels like, everything's okay. Everything that, the world's not on fire. I know what's about to happen. I know what I'm in control of. Everything's okay. When I feel like I'm not in charge, so I'm at effect and the world is happening to me, my bucket goes up. It's stressful because my unconscious doesn't have that certainty. And of course, your unconscious, it thrives on certainty and knowing that it's safe and everything's happy and you're happy and everything's good. So if I perceive that everything's happening on the outside of me and I've got no control, my bucket goes up. And of course, when my bucket goes up, my stress level goes up, and then my thinking becomes poorer. I get all kinds of runaway thoughts and future imaginings. So when it comes to racing, really locating that internal locus of control is very, very important. Now, there's three things that we can have. We can have the things that I'm totally in control of. So it's very much an internal locus of control. And then they've got the things that I'm not in charge of at all. Because there are things, that we're not in charge of. There's lots of things that we're not in charge of. That external locus of control. But there are some things in the middle where I have some control over them. So I can't control them entirely, but I have some control. And there is a worksheet on this. Because it's really important because it helps us with our focus. Viktor Frankl wrote a book about his experiences. He was in a prisoner of war camp during the Second World War. And in his book, Man's Search for Meaning, it boils down to the fact that we might not necessarily be able to control what happens to us, but we can control our response to it. So we can take something that's got a real external locus of control and actually turn it into an internal locus of control. I can control my response to it. Something might happen that I'm not in control of, but I can turn it into something that I can control. And when we think about racing, you're out on track, let's say in karting, there might be 30, 40 other people out on track with you. The only locus of control that you have is you, because there's 39 other people that all have the same idea as you, and you can't do anything about them. And you'll know that I very often quote, you could qualify first, you could do the fastest laps, you could be on pole, off you go, you lead into the first corner, you lead the entire race, and on the last corner, on the last lap, somebody takes you out every race, all season. Now, if I've got an external locus of control, I'm just going to be constantly frustrated and unhappy and everything's terrible. If I've got an internal locus of control, I'll go, oh, hang on a minute. So my performance has been getting better all year. I'm qualifying pole every time. I'm doing this. And I really start to get a different meaning and a different feeling about what I am. Of course, there'll be disappointment because the outcome's not there. But I'm not necessarily going to have such a terrible feeling. The fact that I can't control all these other things. However, in that example, it does have a little bit of a tie over in the middle, some control over. If I think about some control over, well, maybe I need to make sure that I'm not actually near that guy that's taking me out on that last corner in the last lap. So maybe it's got something to do with my positioning. Maybe I need to be behind going into that. Maybe I need to be further ahead. Maybe I just need to be given more space. So there might be some things I can control. But ultimately, I can't control other competitors, engines, weather, all those things that are external locus of controls, other people basically as well. I can control me. I can control my focus. And this is why I'm always on about, you look at your times, nobody else's times. You can't do anything about anybody else's times. You look at your times. How do I go faster than me? And that really brings you back to that internal locus of control, brings your bucket down because you are in charge of that and helps you to focus better rather than looking at all the things that I'm not in control of and just thinking, oh, well, it's overwhelming. So there is a sheet, as I said, on the locus of control. I'll pop it down below so you can always have a look at it and give it a thought. Give it some thought about how it applies to you. Where's your locus of control? Do you perceive as things happening to you, or you get the mindset of, no, I'm focused on me. That's where my attention lies. And as long as I go out every session, every lap, every race weekend, and I'm given 100%, then that's what I have to do. That's what I do as a driver. The results will take care of themselves. The outcomes will take care of themselves. But the only thing I'm actually in charge of is me and my performance. So think about the locus of control for you. Any questions, any thoughts, of course, just let me know and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
And that wraps up another episode of Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. I hope you found this month's topic valuable in your journey towards peak performance in your racing. To stay updated with the latest content, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, download the app, and subscribe to the blog. Just visit motorsportmind.com or follow the links.